Om Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Shri Paramagurubhyo Namaha Shri Paramishti Gurubhyo Namaha. This is the second part in the series of Lalitopakhyana. In the first part I have recited Lalita Stavaraja. Because I want to begin with the prayer to Lalita Mahatya Personally, that's why I made it. Now, Lalitopakhyana begins with Sri Jagatsya getting darshan of Hayagriva in Kanchipura. Sri Jagatsya requests Hayagriva to tell him that what made Ishvara, who is the Lord of everything, Panchabhutas, and who is having control over all senses, and who himself is Madanari, Manmatha, who is killed in Manmatha, what made him deluded by Devi and married her and got the son? What a wonderful question Agastya puts on to Hayagriva. So thus Lalitopakhyana begins. Hayagriva tells the story of Purandara, who was then Mahendra. See, we will be knowing that Mahendras are always changing. Mahendra is a Padavi, it is a thing, and someone who performs so much of rituals, they will be getting into that Padavi of Mahendra, it was told in the mythology. In fact, Mahendra historically means all our organs, all our ruled by Mahendra, in fact. Anyway, then Purandara was then Mahendra was cursed by Durvasa Maharshi. There is a story going on. This one elephant was there and he put that garland on that he could. All that, there is a story which is not explained in Lalitopakhyana. Maybe it's not relevant at this point. So he got the curse. In that place, Brahaspati, that is Devaguru, explains Mahendra the Pancha Mahapatakas and Upapatakas and give the remedies for such sins, etc. etc. So, with all that, what happens? The curse of Devendra, Durvasa cannot go without that fructification. So in Lalitopakhyana, Brahaspati explains Mahendra about what are the Pancha Mahapatakas, etc. and how to get rid of those things, and this is the explanation given in Lalitopakhyana. But the curse of Durvasa has to be fructified. It is fructified, and the demon named Malaka and his group attacked the city of Mahendra. Naturally, once Mahendra's city is attacked, Indraloka, Mahendra reached Brahmaloka and explained Brahma his status. Brahma also accompanied him and reached the Ksheerasagara and explained Sriman Narayana in Ksheerasagara about the attack by Malaka, the demon. Narayana gave a wonderful advice to him. Do one thing now. What is required for us Devatas is the nectar. We want the nectar, Amrita. So for that we need the help of these Asuras also, demons also. Then so you don't get them, come to them with some agreement, compromise with them, and let us churn the milky ocean to get the nectar. Of course, we know the story of that Ksheerasagara Mathana and all, and Vishnu appearing as Mohini and refused the nectar to, all that we know. This is the time where Hayagriva tells the birth of Shasta also. Just a small glimpse of that. After the Ksheerasagara Mathana, Mohini was Vishnu has taken the avatar of Mohini, and Shiva wants Mohini to appear once again before her, and as a result of getting a birth of Shasta is what mythology tells. Okay, now Hayagriva tells the story of Parvati to Agastya. Ksheerasagara is over and Amrita is all that over. Now he comes back to story of Parvati, who is doing penance to get Shiva as her husband on one side. On the other part of the story is, at the same time, a Asura, a demon named Tarakasura, was troubling the Indradi Devatas. So, at one side, Parvati is in penance for getting married with Shiva. On the other side, all the Devatas goes to Brahma and what to do on this. Brahma asked Devatas to call Manmata, Cupid, and they requested him to influence Shiva to come out of Samadhi so that he marries Parvati. We know the story. This is what we know, and that's all. That story all of us know, and we need to repeat it now. Here, once the Manmatha was burnt into ashes by third eye of Shiva, which is anger, there was one Ganeshwara called Chitrakarma. He takes the ashes of Manmatha and gives it a form of a man. And Parameshwara, who burnt Manmatha, has just glanced at the form of man created by this Chitra Karma. That human form got the life, shining like Manmatha himself. Looking at that, Chitra Karma becomes extremely happy that what he has created out of the ashes become lifefulness. And he told that the man who got the life, from the Bhasma, from the ashes, to pray Parameshwara by Shatrudriya. Chitrakarma also initiated Shatrudriya to that form, which is taken form from the ash. Once this man form prized Shiva with Shatrudriya, Shiva was very greatly pleased. Shiva is always can be easily be pleased. What he wants only devotion. So he was very pleased by the Shatrudriya recited by this man who was made out of the ashes of Manmatha, and he gave that a boon to that human form. Wonderful boon he has given. He said, look, when you fight with enemy, 50% of the energy of enemy comes to you, and no weapons of the enemies will hurt you. This is what Parameshwara gave boon to this man form which is formed out of the ashes of the Manmatha. And further he has given boon to him. You will rule the kingdom for 60,000 years. Wonderful. Brahma was witnessing all these developments. What is happening? Bhole Shankara did. And immediately Brahma called that man who was formed out of the ashes as Bhand twice. That is shameless. That's what it means by Bhand. Because Brahma called him Bhand, he is known as Bhanda. Later become Bhandasura. I will explain about Bhandasura and his army after some time. So, because he is an Asura, under the advice of Shukracharya is the guru for all Daityas. So, the architect of these Daityas are Mayasura. I don't know, it's Mayasura or Mayasura. Anyway, it's Mayasura. Built a city called Shunitapura for Banda, for his kingdom. It is called Shunitapura. Shunitapura has a aesthetic meaning which we will definitely discuss later. He had all that in that city, whatever Mahendra had, like white umbrella, that is Shveta Chitra it is called. So the speciality of that white umbrella is, who are under that umbrella are not affected by enemy's weapons. That is the white umbrella. Shveta Chatra it's called. Shveta is white and Chatra is umbrella. And having got all these things, he married to most beautiful women also. Their names are very interesting to know. Sammohini is one. Kumudini is other one. Chitrangi and Sundari. These 4 women he married. But with all that, under the directions of Shukracharya, the Guru, Yagnas and Veda Parayana were regularly performed in his kingdom, in every house. That's very, very important. This Bhandasura, in his kingdom, there is a regular Yagnas and Veda Parayanas are conducted everywhere, every house. It was a must. Wonderful thing. What happened? When this happening, everything was very fine. But Sriman Narayana was closely watching these developments in the kingdom of Bhandasura. On one hand. On the other hand, this Mahendra, the Indra, for Indraloka, this Bhandasura is Shonikaru, Shonitapura. He rules Shonitapura. Shunyakanagara also it's called. And this Mahendra is ruling the Indraloka. So Mahendra is slowly losing his strength and energy. So Narayana got worried. He has created a Mohini, that's called Vishnu Maya, it's called. And she, along with one Apsara called Vishwachi and other Apsaras, went there, and they were very successful to delude Bhandasura. All his ministers, army chiefs, everybody, they were able to delude them. That's the beginning of the end of Bhandasura. He was in the touches of this Vishnu Maya and all the Apsaras. Immediately, once when he is in the clutches of all Vishnu Maya and all Apsaras, Yagnas were stopped, Veda Parayanas were stopped, everything was stopped in the kingdom of Bhandasura. This is what happens to us also. We mortals will be doing same thing. The moha, raga and moha makes us distant from the universal consciousness, God. Same thing happened to Bhandasura. I'll come back afterwards, but one thing I must say here, the mythology tells that 30 Apsaras came from the Milky Ocean, Shirasagara, during its churning. After that 30, Indra also made a creation of one who is called Urvashi. Anyway, I have the list of these 31 Apsaras collected by different sources. It is just I read out them. Rambha, Urvashi, Tilottama, Menaka, Gruchi, Sahajanya, Nimlocha, Vamana, Mandodari. This Mandodari is not Ravana's wife. She is an Apsara, that's all. Subhaga, Vishwachi, Vipulanana, Bhadrangi, Chitrasena, Pramlocha, Manohara, Manomohini, Rama, Chitramadhya, Shubhanana, Keshi, Neelakuntala, Manmatho Deepini, Alambuna, Mishrakesha, Munikikakshtala, Kratushala, Valangi, Paravati, Maharupa, and Shashireka. Once again, Shashireka also is not the wife of Abhimanyu. This is the name of the Apsara. These Apsaras, though they are named 31 numbers, these are the manovrittis of all of us, which diverts the sadhaka from his sadhana. These are the Apsaras or the manovrittis which diverts us from sadhana. And Vishnu Maya heads all these manovrittis. Vishnu Maya is the head of all these manovritti. And naturally, a question will arise here. As to why Narayana only want to divert the sadhakas, particularly the demons who are great Shiva Upasakas. This question always comes to us. Whenever Asuras are worshipping Shiva or do penance to please Shiva, this Narayana interferes and somehow spoil the whole thing. Why Narayana does this? The answer is very simple. Anyone can achieve whatever the powers they desire by sadhana. That is definite. Everybody is having qualification to achieve whatever they want by sadhana and the power they desire, but how they will use it when after getting the powers is the basic issue. And Narayana, the Vishnu, has the responsibility of the sustenance of the universe. He is responsible for universe sustenance. So, he is aware. Power that may be, whatever the power somebody gets, may disturb the universe, its sustenance. Then he will intervene and destroy it and those powers. But Vishnu, during his process of this, Vishnu or Narayana is labeled as enemy of the demons, enemy of the asuras, who are the staunch devotees of Shiva. This is what we have labeled Narayana. Because he is against the asuras who are the staunch devotees of Shiva, Shiva devotees also start disliking Narayana without understanding the concept about it. Narayana is to sustenance of the universe, and he knows who should get the power and who should not. And these asuras, if they get powers, the whole universe will be destroyed. So he does everything to stop those asuras getting those extraordinary powers. So Vishnu is the concept. It is the energy that helps the universe sustain. Universe to sustain and also be with peace and harmony. The bad elements should not get extraordinary powers. That is the principle. So that's what Narayana is doing. For that, he is not the enemy of asuras, and he is not the enemy of Shaivopasakas. That's the wrong notion we have. And even in case of, in case of Hiranyakashipu, his son tries his father to become the devotee of Narayana. That doesn't mean that you should leave. He wants to say, use your powers, whatever you have, in the proper way, in tune with the universal consciousness, so that the universe sustain and be in peace. That's what. He refuses, and we know the story. Narasimha Avatara has killed Hiranyakashipu. This is a story of most of the asuras. So Narayana cannot be treated as a villain in the whole episode. Yes, we will come back to Bhandasura and his kingdom now. He and his ministers and everybody in the kingdom have become engaged in pleasure and forgot all Vedic rituals and yagnas. And thus, days have passed. They have spent about 800 years. Happened. So when you are not doing yagnas and Veda Parayana is not there, nothing is happening, naturally the powers are getting to be slowly reduced. How it happens? Let us see how it happens. A natural course of action takes place. That is the a law of nature, law of universal consciousness. At this point, Narada comes to Mahendra. He tells him, look, my dear, Bhandasura was doing everything so much big now. Now, for the past 800 years, he has become weak because he is not performing any yagna, no rituals. So his strength has been reduced now. Now it is time for you to take on Bhandasura so that the evil is destroyed and the good will exist and remain. But Narada knows that he cannot be killed so easily. Bhandasura is all powerful. All boons are not gone still, because 50% of the enemy's energy he gets back. None of the weapons of enemies will hurt him, and he has Shweta Chatra, white umbrella, all this. So he advised Indra to go and worship Parashakti. So Indra went to a place in the bank of Bhagirathi, started worshipping and doing penance for the grace of Parashakti. And it is known that where the Indra has performed worshipped Parashakti and did penance, is known as Indraprastha. Now, it is Narada's initiation into Parashakti for Indra. So, that is in the form of Sahasranama combined with Kavacha, that is the armor, in Brihad Naradiya Purana. Brihad Naradiya Purana gives the Sahasranama of Parashakti with Kavacha. And in that, even Shodanyasa performed during the Sri Chakra Puja is very subtly mentioned in that Sahasranama. I shall try to recite that Sahasranama some other time. Now, as instructed by Narada and taken Upadesha from him of Parashakti, Indra starts worshipping Parashakti. His worship and penance, tapasya, continued for 10,000 years. Anyway, it's not our years. It is the divine years are very short. For us, it is 10,000 years. So this information was passed on to Bhandasura. Look, your Indra is doing penance and tapasya to get some powers to kill you. Do something on that. This is what always Narada does. This Narada came and told Bhandasura is becoming weak and do something on that. But Narada has not gone and told Bhandasura, but Bhandasura got the information. Then his guru Shukracharya advised Bhandasura to go and obstruct the worship of penance of Devatas. The only that they can do. Before getting the powers, when you sit on tapasya or worship, once that is disturbed, whatever the purpose of penance or worship will not be achieved. So that's what immediately Bandasura came with his army and started disturbing obstruct the worship and penance of Indra. This is described very elaborately in Lalitopakhyana, but I don't dwell upon it now because it's a very long. He explains how he is attacked and all that. People who are interested, they can always go through Lalitopakhyana and enjoy that description of the attack, obstruction of Bandasura. Then, to counter the action of Bandasura, they were not able to fight against him. Bandasura was getting an upper hand. Then they decided something has to be done, which they cannot do themselves. It is said that they constructed a very large altar, that is Yagna Kunda. Lalitopakhyana describes it as 1 yojana wide. It was a very large one, having a width of 1 yojana. Imagine, 1 yojana is about 12 kilometers approximately. The yojana is, if they say, it's 12-15 kilometers. That's the width of the Yagna altar, Yagna Kunda they created. Started performing yaga. Yaga means you have to offer havisu, ahuti. The ahuti was the muscles of the devatas. They cut the muscles and offer it in the Agni. They cut the muscles and offer in the Yagna. What does it mean? It means the ego was burnt in the Yagna Kunda. It is the symbolic representation that ego was burnt, was offered in the Yagna to Parashakti. And nothing is happening. They cut their limbs, that also offered, everything is over, still nothing is happening. Finally they decided to offer their whole body in the Agni, in Yagna Kunda. Decided, let us get to Brahman now, or let us go to Swarga. Let us not be here in this condition. We offer ourselves, the whole body we will offer in the Yagna Kunda. This means, once again, once we decide to surrender ourselves to the consciousness within us, to Atma, which is not Sthula Deha or Sukshma Deha, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, as told by Shankara. When we decide that the Atma is not Sthula Deha or Sukshma Deha, offer everything to Atma within us. That's exactly what they decided, to offer their body itself to the Agni. At that time, an excellent, huge mass of brilliant luster emerged from the altar, Yagna Kunda. They're just about to offer themselves in the Yagna Kunda. At the time, from its middle, the huge mass of brilliant luster emerged. From that brilliant luster in the middle, a radiant circular halo wheel has rose up, a chakra. In the middle of that wheel, Devatas saw Mahadevi. Huh? I repeat once again, it's really, I enjoy that explanation now. From the Yagna Kunda, a huge mass of brilliant luster emerged. From its middle, a radiant circular halo of the shape of the wheel has rose up. In the middle of this wheel, Devata saw Mahadevi with the luster of the rising sun. The luster of the rising sun. Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha. She seems to be the energy of the whole universe. I don't want to use was. Though I am telling a story here, I want to use only is. She is the embodiment of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. She seems to be the energy of the whole universe. She is the embodiment of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. She is the very limit of the essence of the beauty. She is the embodiment of the essence of the beauty itself. She appeared as if the ocean of bliss. It is not bliss. She appeared as the ocean of bliss. She resembled the Japa Kusuma, that is hibiscus flower. Very interesting to know why she resembled Japa Kusuma. Japa Kusuma, hibiscus flower, is the one, as all of us know, has both male and female parts in the same flower, indicating that she is Shiva Shakti Rupini. The purpose of referring Japa Kusuma here is to say that she, Lalita Mahatripura Sundari, is Shiva Shakti Rupini. Further, we see that in the hibiscus flower, red spots, 5 hairy red spots on the top of the flower. That is the female part of the flower, indicating 5 inward triangles in Sri Chakra. This is why hibiscus flower is mentioned. She is robing the sari having the color of the pomegranate clover. She is adorned with all kinds of ornaments. Sarva Bharana Bhushite. What is she? She is the very abode of the soul sentiment of love. She is the very abode of soul sentiment of love. She is the soul sentiment of love. Her glance towards Devatas is as cool as moonlight, is as cool as moonlight. News, God, sugarcane bow and arrows of 5 flowers are shining in her hands. Shining in her hands. This is her in 4 hands, nose, gourd, sugarcane and bow and arrows. What happens when such a beautiful Shakti appears before Devatas? Seeing this Parashakti, all the Devatas praised her, which is known as Lalita Stavaraja, which I have yesterday in my earlier part I have recited and also tried to give some meaning also for that. I will speak about Bhandasura and his army while explaining his killing. It's time we should be explained. At the same time, it's very well explained in Lalita Sahasranama. And same is elaborately explained in Lalitopakhyana. The killing of Bhandasura explained very elaborately in Lalitopakhyana, but it's also explained in Lalita Sahasranama. Whatever I mentioned before about how Lalita Mahatripurasundari emerged from the Yajna Kunda, Lalita Sahasranama, from Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta to Devarshigana Sanghata Stuya Manatma Vibhava. Up to that, they explained Mahatripurasundari Rupa form is explained. I shall try to explain the meaning of all these namas. Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta to Devarshigana Sanghata Stuya Manatma Vaibhava, along with their esoteric meaning in the next part. We should also know in the next part about the marriage of Kameshwari, Lalita Mahatripurasundari, with Kameshwara in the presence of all the Devatas. So with this I conclude this part. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.